What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. So much to cover today. It's another massive video doing price analysis of all sealed product, talking about Scarlet and Violet, all the new sets, when I would buy in, Sword and Shield, what's going on with that, and a little bit of a personal story from my past as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. We have to start off today's video talking about Destined Rivals. It's been out for just over a week now, and it is one of the most successful set launches I've ever seen in all of my time doing this. And we kind of knew it was going to happen. It's a massively hyped set. It's a mainline set. We've got the huge chase card with the Mewtwo, and if we have a look at what's going on the price charts now, it did dip initially at the start of this week. It dipped down on the average on TCG Player to around about 254, and it's just rebounding back up again. We got 263, 263, 263, and this was kind of expected. We knew that the demand for this set was going to be massive, and once people buy out that initial wave of stock that's available on release day, we knew for a fact that there was going to be higher demand than what was going to be printed. We all knew that was going to happen. Now, what my prediction said was that in a few weeks' time, we're going to see a bit of a calming down in prices, and we're going to settle down to around about a basement price. Now, obviously, we need time for the set to be out for that to happen. And although I was quite impressed here over in the EU at how much product was actually available on launch day, as far as sealed booster boxes was available, there really wasn't that much. I don't know what your experience was in America, but I mean, over here, most of the stores that you can buy product from had sealed Elite Trainer boxes for sale and loose packed blisters, that kind of thing, but really no one was selling big booster boxes. You had to go to the secondary market, to your eBay and stuff like that, unless you were really lucky. And I think part of the reason is retailers knew that they could just break this down and make more money. They could just sell it as single packs and make more money. And again, also, I feel like they felt like they were obliged to split down bigger product just to make it spread a little bit further, because they knew that they were limited on how many of these booster boxes they had, so they were very reluctant to let them go as big sealed booster boxes if they had that product. Now, that being said, I do still think prices are going to come down. I think that it's going to take a little bit of time, a few more weeks, and we're going to settle down. So if you haven't bought into Destined Rivals yet and you really want it in your collection or your investment portfolio, then you really should wait a few weeks if you want to get it for the best price. That being said, I always talk to people and I always say you need to look at the long game on things. Now, I have not taken my own advice, and I have bought into it already. I have 3 now. You can see 2 of them on the shelves. That's one there and one there. I also have one in the back as well, and I plan on buying more next week as well. And we're slowly going to build up to 6 boxes. That's where I really want to get to, because I want to have a case put away of Destined Rivals. Now, yes, I could buy a case on its own, but I'm doing it smarter by buying them as single booster packs for a couple of reasons. One, if you buy a sealed case, you can't see the quality, and I really like to get booster boxes with a real nice tight seal around them, perfect quality. Whereas if you buy them singly, you can inspect photos, especially on the secondary market. I bought 1 of them for retail, and I bought 2 from the secondary market for full market price. The other advantage of buying them by spreading them out over time is that you're averaging your costs for buying them. So if the price shoots up, then I don't have to buy 6 at 250, 260, 270 a box, because I've missed out and I've left it too late. Do you see what I mean? You kind of can't lose, but you also can't win by averaging out some of your boxes are going to be more expensive that you bought them for, and some of them are going to be cheaper. It just depends what's going on with the market. But as I said, if you really want to buy in at the best price point, I do think it's going to be cheaper in a few weeks' time than what the price is now. That being said, it might not be. And if we continue to see upward pressure and upward demand like we've seen in this last week, with prices increasing up to 263, then I do think that we're going to get into potentially a sticky situation where you've missed out and then you're going to have to pay 280, 290 a box. And I don't want to be in that situation, which is why I'm spreading out the cost. And like I said, if we zoom out on the grand scheme of things, okay, $265, $260 a box is not that much. It is a lot when you're talking about the launch of a new product and we don't know how much printing is going to happen. However, if you're holding this for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, ideally 5 years plus, what are the chances that Destined Rivals is going to be more than $250 a box in 5 years' time? If we look at basically any other box from Sword and Shield, and Sword and Shield is just over 2 years old, some of the later sets, they're all way over $250 a box and climbing as well. And that's just in 2 years. Where's Destined Rivals going to be at in 5 years? So me personally, I'm getting my case together now. I don't think it's the best time to buy though, but I'm not trying to time the market. I'm trying to do time in the market, not time the market. However, if you really do want the best price, I would hold out another couple of weeks. I think it's going to come down a little bit more, but no guarantees, because Destined Rivals is one of those anomaly sets where we just don't know what's going to happen with it. I mean, with most sets like your Journey Together, your Surgeon Sparks, we could safely say they were going to come down in price. But with Destined Rivals, it's really not certain. All bets are off with Destined Rivals. Could go up, could go down. I really don't know. But definitely in the long run, I think it's going to be an absolute monster when you're zooming out and looking at what its performance is going to be in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 4 years' time. So I'm buying in now. I'm stacking up Destined Rivals. My target is to get to 6 boxes, and then we'll see where we're at. I mean, I'm halfway there already. Ideally, I'd like to spread it out over the next couple of weeks, so hopefully I get a few cheaper boxes to bring down my average cost. But really, I'm not that bothered because it's going to be a long-term hold for me. At that point, when I hit 6 boxes, I'm going to have to make a decision. Do I continue to buy aggressively into Destined Rivals? Depends what the price is doing, really. Or do I start looking at increasing my position in other areas? I think I'm going to have to look at what's going on in the market with some of the other sets. Do I want to increase my position in Prismatic Evolutions? Has that dropped down in price a little bit over the next few weeks? Surgeon Sparks could be a good shout. Journey Together if it starts going for sub-retail. If they reprint Paldean Fates, I'm 100% all over that as well. So, you know, I've really got to balance things out, and it's very hard for me to say now what I'm going to be doing in a couple of weeks' time, because it really just depends what happens with the market. The only thing that's certain is I'm going to be buying more Destined Rivals, definitely. So last sold in the US is $250. Last sold in the UK is 208. That's about what I've been paying. Like I said, I got one for retail. I think I got one for about 208, and I got one for around about 205. So that is about average pricing at the moment. And this is the nice thing. This is what I'm talking about. You can make sure you get one with a real nice tight seal. I mean, this one is average. It's pretty nice, but it's not the best, and you can really just inspect everything with a single one rather than a case, because with a case you can get unlucky, and some of the print quality, I wouldn't say print quality, I would just say quality of the product as a whole, because what I'm really talking about is the seal, especially over here in the EU. It's very hit and miss. It's really gone downhill. You're seeing booster boxes come out with some really baggy seals on them, lots of air between them, really loose seals, and it's just not my cup of tea. It's really not. I would rather pay a couple of pounds extra. I'll pay a couple % more than what market is just to get one with a nice tight seal, and all of the ones that I have got do have a nice tight seal. Should we get one off the shelf and we'll show you what I mean? here we go. So all of the 3 that I've bought have pretty nice seals on them, but you can just see what I mean. Like, it's really, really nice, tight seal, not baggy at all. Look at this, just absolutely pristine down the sides as well. No dents, no dings, no damage to the seal at all. This is what I'm all about, and this is what makes you a sealed collector rather than an investor, when you care about having everything absolutely pristine. That is what I'm all about. Put that down gently next to me. There we go. So yeah, that's Destined Rivals. Let's move on then. Prismatic Evolutions. We were just talking about that. If it continues to come down in price, we may have to increase our position on it, and it is starting to fall down in price. Look at this. We're starting to see it more aggressively come back down in price. I believe part of that is A, it was overinflated, and B, just because everyone's attention is turning to Destined Rivals. Everyone is pouring their money into that this week. There's less demand for people buying Prismatic. It will come back. It's just people are ploughing their money and adding to their positions on Destined Rivals at the moment. Let's have a look. Last sales 100. Look at this, sub 100 sales. We called this a few weeks ago. To hold out on Prismatic, you're going to get it sub $100. I got roasted in my comment section for saying that. People were saying it will never go below $100 an Elite Trainer box. $97.99, $97.99, $91, $96. It's getting more and more attractive to buy into Prismatic Evolutions as time goes on. I will be increasing my supply with it. It's just a matter of when. When am I going to buy more into Prismatic? Probably when I've finished off my case of Destined Rivals. Prismatic is kind of up there in the top couple of sets that I need to increase my position in, and with it continuing to have some downward pressure and to come back to more reasonable prices, I think that's brilliant. I think you're not going to see it for retail unless you're really lucky and hit a restock. You're not going to see it for retail prices. Really, if you want Prismatic Evolutions, particularly an Elite Trainer box, you're going to have to buy it on the secondary market. I don't think secondary market is ever going to drop back down to retail prices. Even if it does, it won't be for long. I think more than likely the basement price, the absolute best price you're ever going to see it at on the secondary market is about $80. If you see anything between $80 and $90 for Prismatic Evolutions and you're willing to hold on to it for a good amount of years, you're going to do fantastic out of it, in my opinion. I think that's your basement price. Last sold in the US, $105. Here's one, look. That's a buy it now, look. 105, buy it now. 119, buy it now. Auction yesterday, $96. You could have, look at this, buy it now yesterday, $95. It's a good price to buy in at. Yes, I think you'll get it a little bit cheaper again in a couple of weeks' time. I think we're going to continue to see it drop down in price a little bit, but is it worth it? Is it worth nearly missing your opportunity to buy into Prismatic Evolutions again to maybe save $10 now? You can maybe save $10 a box now on a set that potentially, if you hold it for a couple of years, you're going to double your money, triple your money. What's that $10 mean? You know, is it really worth trying to time the market that much to get that extra $10, to get that cheaper buy-in cost when you're going to hold it for 2 years, 3 years? You need to zoom out. And this is what you need to understand, guys, about the hobby and about buying from the secondary market, okay? Most people that are buying from the secondary market are not buying to put it away. I know you think they are, but it's such a small part of the hobby that actually puts sealed product away. It is minuscule compared to the amount of people that rip products or hold rip and ship businesses or just buy it and flip it quickly. Okay, the actual people that will buy in now for $100 and will put it away for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years is less than, I would say, 0.0001% of all worldwide buyers. Okay, it really is such a small amount. Most of these boxes here will either sit in someone's collection for less than 6 months and then be flipped again, or the majority of them are going to get ripped open. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, guys. We are such a vocal minority in our hobby. Yes, there are YouTubers like myself that make this kind of content, and you think, oh yeah, but they've got thousands of followers. PokePond, you've got thousands of followers as well. Pokemon is a worldwide phenomenon. Sorry, messing up my words today. It is crazy how many people buy products to rip it. Okay, just because we are vocal on YouTube, we are such a small part of this hobby, and that's what you need to realize. It really doesn't matter whether you buy in now for $95 or you buy in next week and maybe get it for $85. If you hold it for years, you're gonna make serious bang for your buck. You really are. The $10 difference buy-in is not going to make any difference. Let's have a look then. Last sold in the UK, £187. Last sold, well, that must be Pokemon Center version. Yeah, it is. Last sold in the UK, 104. There's one for £99 with a little bit of postage, so like 103. Pretty average price in the UK. It's kind of stayed about the same here in the UK. In the US, you're getting it a little bit cheaper now. You're getting sub $100. If you want a comparison, so like 103 in the UK, I'm pretty sure 103 is like, I want to say like about $130. So we're still paying quite a bit more for our product in comparison to you guys. And that's on an auction as well. But I do think you're going to see prices come down a little bit more in the US, but also it's not a bad time to buy into it, in my opinion. I think you do well if you put it away. We're getting sidetracked. We're going down tangents. Let's get through this. I don't want to be talking for another hour-long episode like I seem to end up doing every week. If you're new to the channel, then this is what we do every week on a Saturday. We go through all the big sets, all the new sets, all the older Sword and Shield sets, all the sealed product. We keep a track of everything for you. We give you predictions. We tell you what we would buy into. We do an analysis of everything. We tell you everything that's going on in the news, in the hobby as well, so that you don't have to keep up with all of this. Okay, it's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot for me to keep up with, but I love doing it and I love presenting it to you guys. So all you have to do is just tune in each week and make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. I also have to say that I live here in the UK, so I compare both UK, EU prices and US prices as well to give you the whole view on what's going on in the worldwide sealed product market. And I don't think many other people are doing that, if any are doing that on YouTube at the moment, giving you a whole worldwide picture. Correct me if I'm wrong, please do. Let's talk about Journey Together then. Journey Together obviously was so massively overinflated, massively scalped box, and we saw it start to come back to reality. We really did. We're seeing prices now around about the $200 mark. It is, I believe, the second cheapest booster box now available on the open market, which is kind of crazy to say considering how new it is. Not the worst set. Journey Together. I didn't like it out the gate. I was very vocal about that. I said we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the data points. I think it's settling now in price. It depends what they do with printing over the next 6 months to a year. If they continue to print lots of it and there's not the demand, we'll see prices drop down to around about retail and it's going to sit. However, if they don't, and we just see normal levels of printing going forward, I think this is about its price. This is going to be, it may drop a little bit and then bounce back over a few months, but I think around about $200 to $210 is going to quite quickly become the basement price for all sets across the Scarlet and Violet era. I don't think that it's going to be common to see any set below $200. And like I said, Journey Together is not the worst set out there. It does have some nice chase cards in it. I think that it's a pretty good buy for $200. Again, I do think there's that possibility of more reprints, big reprints, seeing it closer to retail price. If you can see it in the wild for retail price, particularly a bigger sealed product like a booster box or a half booster box if you're in the EU, an 18 packer, then, or even a booster bundle for around retail, I think it's a no-brainer and you pick it up. However, For $206, if you keep it for the long haul, I don't think it's going to be a bad investment, personally. $200 last sold in the US for the enhanced version. £193 in the UK for the enhanced version as well. Let's scroll down. Non-enhanced version. Look at this. 165, 164 with postage. That's kind of crazy. That's just a smidge over retail. An absolute smidge over retail. I'm talking what? £4 over retail? That's nothing. That's what's £4? £4 is like $5, $5.50 over retail for a nicely sealed one as well. Look at this, nice tight seal. It's bulging a little bit on the top, but you get that sometimes with these. That's fairly normal. And yeah, look how tight that seal is. So really nice one, nice product. Whoever picked that up for 160, I think you've done really well with that. Not a bad set. Keep your eyes on Journey Together. I was about to say Vivid Voltage, not Vivid Voltage. Surging Sparks. Classic Pikachu brain happening there. Surging Sparks bounced up a little bit in price, actually. It was around about 218 last week, and we're seeing last sales now of around about 228. So it's rebounded in price a little bit. It's too early to say if this is going to be a full rebound back up to the realms of around about 250. It'll obviously climb up to 250 in time, but we were saying last week when it was around about this $200 mark. Look, there's a sale there for 200. Let's find last week. Let's see, last week. We can't even see last week. We can only see back to the 5th. That shows how much of it is selling as it's coming down in price. We can only see back 2 days. And look at this. All of these sales, right, apart from that last one there, pretty much all of these sales are around about the 230 mark. So when it was going for around about $200 on eBay last week, I told you guys that Surging Sparks is similar to Journey Together. In fact, it's better than Journey Together in my opinion, but it's similar in the fact that if it's around about $200, that puts it as one of the cheapest sets in the era, and it shouldn't be. Surging Sparks is a very well received set within the hobby, and again, if you buy in for these prices, I do think it will continue to come down. I do think you'll get closer to $200, but you're just trying to time the market at that point. For $225, that's a good buy in my opinion. You pick up Surging Sparks now, you pile it up a little bit, you put it away. You do well out of it. And I think, as I said, you're going to see a time very soon. Time moves so fast in this hobby, it really does. And you're going to see a time in the not too distant future when Surging Sparks is getting close to going out of print. We're starting to talk about the fact that it probably won't get printed again anymore, and you will not see it for this price. That's when it's really going to start moving up in price, and you're going to start to see it pushing the boundaries to 50, to 80, 300. You're seeing that now with Paldea Evolved, and I think you'll see the same with Surging Sparks. And once Paldea Evolved and Surging Sparks are completely out of print, and we're starting to go into the next era of Pokemon, which whatever that may be, I'm telling you, these boxes are going to go bananas. I think they're going to start outpacing the not the lower sets, but the sets more in positions like 3, 4, and 5 in Sword and Shield. Your Brilliant Stars, your Silver Tempest, your Astral Radiance. I think that these sets are all going to be similar. You're going to see your Surging Sparks at around about that point where it's doing what Silver Tempest was trying to do, you know, push through that $300 mark, and now it's pushed and broken through, and it's out of print now. It's just going to keep going, in my opinion. It really is. I think there's always going to be the demand for that. There's going to be the demand for the people chasing the Lugia. I think it's going to be the same for Surging Sparks with chasing the SIR Pikachu. I really do. I don't think now is a bad time to buy in at $220. That's on a buy it now and an auction, same price, no swing in price at all between an auction or a buy it now. They were both yesterday. Not a bad buy in my opinion. I think I should buy more Surging Sparks. I currently own one booster box of Surging Sparks, which I bought for retail. Oh, and I've got an ETB as well behind that Hidden Fates one. I forgot I even had that I also bought for retail. Let's have a look at last sold in the UK then. 209, creeping up there in price. Again, in the UK, we're going to get £200 booster boxes for Scarlet and Violet, at least for the decent sets, and that's not going to take long to come about. You're already seeing Surgeon Spark pushing those levels. Yeah, it might come down a bit with printing, but it's just going to bounce back up. Like I said, time moves so fast in this hobby. Blink and it'll be out of print. I guarantee it. It's going to feel like no time has passed at all until we're making this video telling everyone to pile into Surgeon Sparks because it's at 300 a box and it's probably not going to get printed anymore and bloody bloody blah. Like, I can see that conversation happening 100%. I already know it's going to happen. Paldea Evolved. We saw a massive run up in price on Paldea Evolved over the last couple of months. We got 30% gains there and it's just chilling. It's just chilling at its all-time high. What's normal with any kind of product or stock or asset or anything, when you have an aggressive move to the upside like this, the normal thing is to see it drop down in price and then find an equilibrium and a new basement price, a new level of support, usually around about halfway through how much gain it made, but it just really hasn't. It's just chilling at an all-time high. So its all-time high on the average is what? 296 on the charts. Last sale's 280, 299, 299, 299, 299, 299, 300. It's at an all-time high, guys. Paldea Evolved, 300 a box. To put things into perspective, okay, Silver Tempest and Brilliant Stars have been out of print for quite a while now, and they were both a month or two ago, Silver Tempest even more recently than that, struggling to break through $300. Paldea Evolved is still in print and it's regularly selling for $300. I'm telling you guys, people aren't ready for Scarlet and Violet era. Scarlet and Violet era is going to outpace Sword and Shield era. I never thought I'd say that, but I really do. As more time goes on, the more data I see, we're starting to see it unfold already. The moves to the upside are so much more aggressive. Like, you think about Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike had such a run up in price recently, but it was sat for so long stagnant in price. It sat for ages for retail in the UK. You look back to a year ago on this channel, you could pick it up for retail from Pokemon Center UK, and I was screaming at people to buy it. I was. People who are long-time subscribers of the channel will know that. They will know that I'm not capping on that. I was saying for the longest time, week in, week out, buy Fusion Strike for retail, buy Chilling Reign for retail. Some people listened to me and made a lot of money, some people didn't. If you didn't, that's your own fault, I'm sorry. If you're new to the channel, that's why you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Paldea Evolved is that next opportunity. Destined Rivaled is that next opportunity. Journey Together, Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions. Even some of the old Sword and Shield sets are still great opportunity. We'll go back, we'll deal with those at the end of the episode. Let's get through a bit of Scarlet and Violet first. But yeah, Paldea Evolved chilling at an all-time high. Really positive to, rather than see it drop down in price after an aggressive move to the upside, it's just finding its feet. We're developing a trend where this is the new basement price. $300 is going to be the new basement price. If anything is being sold for below that, it's just going to get bought up. I guarantee it. Yeah, we might dip in price. We might go down to 290 next week or 280 next week, but it's not going to last. In the grand scheme of things, in a month's time, 2 months' time, we're going to be over 300 a box regularly. And we're probably, more than likely, going to be pushing new boundaries, new all-time highs with it. Paldea Evolved is one of my top tips to buy into at the moment. Look at these, right? Look at the range in price. Last sold in the US. These are both from yesterday, both on Buy It Nows. 285, 305. 305 is the highest I have ever seen Paldea Evolved sell in the US. What does that tell me? We are pushing boundaries. We really are. Paldea Evolved to the moon. It's starting to take off. Last sold in the UK, 239. Again, creeping up in price. That's an all-time high as well, I think. 239. If it's not all-time high, it's right on that point. It really is. Twilight Masquerade starting to take off again as well. We have to talk about Twilight Masquerade straight after Paldea Evolved because it's my second best tip for sets to buy into. We've been saying it for a long time on the channel. Just look at what it's starting to do on the charts. It's really starting to accelerate up. It's still in print. It's just really starting to flex its muscles and show what it's going to do for the long term. We trade on data, and when we see a positive correlation, a trend being set over the last 3 months on a set that's not even out of print yet, that is starting to get up there in age a little bit, Twilight Masquerade is going to perform well in the long haul. I'm almost certain. Look at this, 267 a box now, last sold on TCG Player. Last sold on eBay, 239. Be careful with these, right? There's a lot of scams about. I'm not sure if that one's a scam or not, but 195 seems a bit cheap with no photos when it's regularly, well, not regularly, it's because the market's moving fast, but we're getting a sale there for 240 on a buy it now. 195, that could just be one that was listed a while ago and they just didn't they didn't catch up with the market moving and jumping ahead. That's possible, but be very careful about these. Look, 180, but sold from Pakistan. Okay, be very cautious about these international ones. You can actually set down the side here which country you want it to come from. So you want it to be, the item to be based in the US in your filtering. I would always recommend that. The reason why I haven't done that is because I'm looking at US eBay from another country. It won't let me set that filter. When I'm on eBay UK from the UK, it will let me do that. But if you're in the US, you're buying domestically on eBay, I would always recommend that you set it up so that it's only showing you products from the US. Personally, that just has, I'm not saying that's a scam, but your likelihood of that being a scam is so much higher than just buying from a trusted US seller. It really is. And this person, look at them, like 9 feedback, 80% feedback score. It's just got dodgy written all over it, guys. It's really not worth it. Just buy one with photos, inspect it all. 240, that's kind of crazy for Twilight Masquerade now. I think it's going to do really well. It's just going to keep creeping up in price. In the UK, it's gone up quite a lot as well. About a month or two ago, we could still pick this up for retail, even on the secondary market. It was like 140, 150. Now we're at 177. That's quite a run up in price. Here's one that sold for 187 with 12.50 postage, but with an acrylic case that they're claiming is 25 quid. And it's like, yeah, well, the acrylic case is 25 quid if you buy it brand new, but you're selling it second hand and you're charging 12.50 postage. So it's like, okay, interesting. Let's move on. Let's talk about Paradox Rift. Interestingly, Paradox Rift had a little bit of a run up in price. I always dog on Paradox Rift. I say it's the worst set in Scarlet and Violet. Some people get mad at me because you're never going to share the opinions with absolutely everyone, but I do feel like it's the worst set. When I say that, though, I need to make very clear that I don't think it's actually the worst set. That is clearly Shrouded Fable. But when I'm talking about sets, I'm talking about mainline sets, not holiday sets. I'm talking about booster boxes. It is the worst booster box out there. We'll just say it. It's been out of stock in the US for quite a while, and it had a strange run up in price to around about 209, and now it's dropped down in price over the last sort of week and a half. We were seeing it last week, let's see, average 209. Last sales, look at this, 190, guys. That is the first booster box of the last month or so, I would say, that has actually dropped on the secondary market to below $200. That is kind of mad. So Paradox Rift is now the cheapest booster box you can buy on the market. And to be honest, it doesn't surprise me. It is not a great set. Go have a look at one of those websites that shows you the set list. Go have a look at one of those websites. I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to promote them. There's lots out there. You can Google them that show you the cost per each card. Look at the value in that set. It's not there. It's really not. Even if you put it next to what I would call its brother, that's a similar set, came out at a similar time, was available in and sat around for the same kind of price for the same amount of time, Paradox Rift. There's a lot more value in Paradox Rift. There's more chase. There's better artworks, in my opinion. I think that Paradox Rift, yeah, 190 a box, it's the cheapest there. If you're going to put it away for a couple of years, you probably will make money on it, and you'll probably make decent money on it, especially for the fact that not many people are going to put away Paradox Rift, I guarantee that. So it is a play, and I'll always point out plays to you, but it's not a play I'm going to make. I own no Paradox Rift in my collection. I do own quite a bit of Temporal Forces though, because I have more faith in that with the Raging Bolt SIR, but Paradox Rift, I would rather put my money somewhere else. I think that you kind of can't lose at the moment. I think if you buy booster boxes specifically of any of the Scarlet and Violet sets for whatever price they are now on market, and you hold them for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I think you'll make money on whatever you buy. What this channel is not about making money on any product. It's about trying to predict the best performers. That's what it's really all about, guys. I don't think you lose if you're just in our section of the hobby. And I'm sorry, I've said this many times before and it's becoming a bit of a meme. If you are part of my channel and you have found this video, you have a sickness. There is no cure to the sickness. You are addicted and you are in deep. It's just a matter of fact, okay? You are part of the 0.01% of the hobby that is either putting away sealed product aggressively, like me, I'm full-blown sick with the sickness, or you have the fever and you're just starting to get into it or thinking about getting into it, so you're searching and researching and my videos are coming up, okay? But if you've got the fever, it's already too late for you. You're going to turn into a full-time zombie. It's just a matter of time. I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, but it's just a fact. Let's talk about Temporal Forces then. Temporal Forces, I believe in it much more. Continuing to see upward pressure in the US. Still available for retail from Pokemon Center UK. Actually below retail, 140 odd pound. From Pokemon Center UK. You can get it from secondary market as well for below retail in the UK. And in all honesty, this is what's going to happen in the EU market. Once we have no longer access to retail product, we're going to see what's happening in the US here. We're just going to see a creep up in price. And I think US is going to continue to see a creep up in price. It's down around that $200 range. That $200 range that I talked about, where it's just going to be the basement, that support level, where sets really don't drop below it, and if they do, it won't be for long. And Temporal Forces, I think, is such an underrated set. I really do think it will perform well, and it's so cheap to pick up now. Let's have a look at Pokemon Center US. It's not going to take me long to go through it, because unfortunately, as with other weeks, we are completely out of stock of every single booster box or booster pack product. Any single product that has booster packs in is sold out. Let's have a look at the Elite Trainer box section as well. Is that the same? It is. Of course it is. Absolutely sold out. Don't look at me. Oh God, look at it. It's so nice. I need to buy one of these. I say it every week. Look at this. Yeah, I should have bought it. Look at this. $65. I wish I could pick this up for $65 now. I need to buy it. It just keeps going up every week. I look at it. It makes me angry now when I see it. I need it in my collection. Pokemon Center UK. Let's move on. Look, £143. That is below retail price. Retail price is like $156, I think. Paradox Rift. Okay, you could buy into it. You could probably do okay with it if you put it away. Temporal Forces, I think, is a much better buy for retail price. Those are our only booster boxes we can pick up. And then, oh look, the other ugly duckling that I was talking about before. I'm sorry, I'm being so mean to some of these sets. I know some of these sets are your favourites. I know I'm really hurting some of those people that are watching this video. The small minority of people that absolutely love Shrouded Fable. I'm sorry. This channel is here to cater for everyone. But come on, Shrouded Fable is one of the worst releases since Battle Styles. I know that's going to make people angry, that comment as well. So we're just going to move on swiftly to talk about Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is the monster. It is the GOAT. If you're going to shell out the kind of money that it's charging right now, 1,897 or 1988. Look at the swing in price. We're seeing quite a big swing in price again on Evolving Skies. It's not really moved over the last week, but again, this is what we're talking about. Massive move to the upside. Another 40% gain on it over the last sort of 2 months, which is massive. Massive considering how much a 40% move is on its already increased value. Absolutely massive. And to see it this week just chill and just consolidate at an all-time high is amazing. To not see it drop back down and to just see it start to form the foundations of another support level just makes me even more confident it's just going to keep going, guys. It's just going to have an absolutely insane year. We've been calling it since the start of this year. We've been calling it all of last year as well. It's just going to keep going. It's going to have a mad 2025, and I think that pressure, that upward pressure on the charts is just going to continue as the years go by as well. We're going to see something really special out of Evolving Skies. Last sold in the US, $16.50. Let's scroll through, see some more. Look at this, the Elite Trainer Box going for $300 now. Let's find another one. Look at this, Pokemon Center exclusive, $754 now. The Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer Box, that is shocking, is now nearly half the price of a full booster box. That is nuts, guys. That is absolutely nuts. Would you rather have 2 of those, 2 PC ETBs, or a booster box? I'd rather have the booster box, personally. I think that that's a better bet for the long haul as well. But I get it. I get it that people want that because it's rare and it displays and it's Evolving Skies. I get it. It's just not for me. Not at that price point anyway. That's absolutely ludicrous. Let's find another sale on the booster box. There we go. Another sale from yesterday. $17.98. So that's what I'm talking about. A swing in price. Massive swing in price there. Nearly $100 between the last 2 sales. I think we're going to see some massive upward pressure, and it's not going to be long before we're going to see not just one sale, not just 2 sales, but we're going to see a full trend. We're going to see more than 7 selling points in a row over the $2,000 mark, and then that's really going to cement $2,000 as the support level. It's going to bounce off that for a little while, you know, like we saw with the last few weeks with and last few months with Silver Tempest and Brilliant Stars bouncing below the $300 mark, and then once they smash through, then that's it. Sky's the limit. I think the same is going to be for Evolving Skies. Once it smashes through 2k and we're starting to see regular sales over 2k, it's going to be a very quick run up to 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. It's really going to happen. I don't see a world where it's not going to happen. Last sold in the UK, again, really healthy, right up there at the peaks of where it's ever been. I think the most we've ever seen it sell for is around about £1,600, something like that. Last sale, $1,531. Really positive to see more sales at around about that price point. Fusion Strike, very similar story. Fusion Strike, massive run up in price last month, and now consolidating, not dropping in price, just consolidating, chilling here. 740, 750, 740, 765, 798, 790, 794. Just chilling and actually hitting a new barrier of around about, looks like it's just bouncing off of like that $800 mark. You're going to see that because after any run up in price, people are going to dump. Anyone who's got it, who has weak hands, are going to dump and take profit. That's just how it is. So to see it not fall down in price and to see it just, it's not even stagnating, it's just stabilizing after such a volatile move, and then now that's the price. We may see it dip down a little bit more. We may see it dip down 10%. We may see it dip down another $80. It may go back down to 710, 720. But I tell you what, there's people like me and people, other viewers on this channel, that will see it at 710, 720 and just buy it out because they'll think it's a bargain, because they think it's an $800 box all day long, because it's already hit those boundaries. And it will go beyond that. I'm very confident in that. Fusion Strike is such a good set. You've got 2 of the best cards in the whole era, in my opinion, with the Gengar and the Sleepyon. I love that Sleepyon card. It's so nice. Last sold in the US, $700. Last sold in the UK, $491. Not that long ago, these were around about £300. And now it's £491. Sorry, did I say dollars? I meant pounds. Let's talk about Astral Radiance. Similar thing. A little bit of price consolidation. We're just chilling after such a big run up in price. Don't be worried about this. Like, it looks flat on the graph, but look at this aggressiveness that we've had. 60% price rise in the last 3 months. And most of that over like a 3 week period. It just absolutely rocketed up, and then that's the price now. To see it not drop down in price just shows you how strong of an investment these older boxes are. And I think Scarlet and Violet is going to be a similar thing once it's as old as these sets. However, I think that you're actually going to see even more from Scarlet and Violet. You're going to see even more pressure on the upside once they are the age that these boxes are. Crown Zenith. Surprise, surprise, we're at an all-time high on Crown Zenith. What a shocking thing to see. It's not like every single week we look, it's at a new all-time high. Crown Zenith is honestly one of the safest bets out there. If I were to build a house out of Elite Trainer boxes and cement, I would pick Crown Zenith, because it is the most stable foundation out of any of the investments out there. Did you like that metaphor? That was on the fly. Can you imagine that? A house built of Crown Zenith. That would be sacrilege, though. Just keeps going up in price. Just compounding. Percents on percents on percents. And it's not even like it's small moves either. It's a decent amount. Look, last week, so 158 on the average. Last sold 172. And multiple sales for 172. So 158 to 172 is what, $14? 14 to 158. Let's calculate it out. 14 to 158. 8.8% price rise in 7 days on Crown Zenith. And it just continues to compound, and it's not that expensive to buy into. I mean, I know it's like, oh, $172. These were sat around for $90 on store shelves last year and no one was touching them. I'm like, yeah, okay, but that time has passed. Okay, you are never going to see a $90 Crown Zenith Elite Trainer box again. You're talking craziness if you think that's ever going to happen again. It's out of print. It's insane. It's one of the safest places to put your money at the moment. The thing is with Crown Zenith, right, the way I see it is Crown Zenith is a safe investment. That's going to be your brick and mortar. It's just going to gradually grow over time. I'm not saying you're going to see 8% gains week on week on week, because I don't think that will happen, and it will probably slow down. But equally, you're not going to see 8% losses every week. I think that Crown Zenith, even when things settle down with Crown Zenith and it has a bit of a lull, I still think you're going to see over a month, 1%, 2%, 3% gains. It's just going to keep going. You might see a bit of consolidation, a bit of a pullback some months, but I think at those stages it's just going to stagnate and then go up again, and stagnate and go up again. I really do see it as Crown Zenith is not a get rich quick set. Crown Zenith is a hedge your bets, safe investment. You'll see good steady gains on it. Whereas stuff like Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, it's your higher risk stuff. High risk, high reward. Higher potential gains, higher potential losses. Crown Zenith is your safer investment for the long haul, in my opinion. Last sold in the US, $158. There's another one for $150. Two of my favourite box going for $580. Look at this, $295. Oh, I'm never going to be able to afford it. It's just getting more and more expensive. Why do I torture myself looking at it? There's a nice minty one as well. Wouldn't it look so perfect on the display behind us? But the way I see it is, it's like, I want that for my collection, but for that price, I can buy like 2 Destined Rivals, or nearly 2 Destined Rivals. Or what I'm actually looking at buying and spending my next bit of money on once I've completed my Destined Rivals set is I want to get a nice GoPro, because I'd quite like to be able to make some of these videos as well where I talk to camera, not necessarily looking at the computer and prices and stuff. I want to sit behind there with my boxes and make a little video and we can chat. And I want to get like a nice little GoPro and a tripod to do that. So maybe that's what I'll spend my money on once I finish off my Destined Rival pseudo case that I'm buying individually and putting together. We'll see. I think that's a better way to spend my money. because then I can connect with you guys in more ways and make more content for you guys. Because sometimes, you know, if I finish work, this is what some people don't get, okay? Some people in the comments that call me a scalper or stuff like that, they're like, dude, go and get a real job. And it's like, I don't think everyone understands that I make next to no money off of YouTube. I do this as a passion, especially how many hours I put in to make these videos. Like making a basic video like this of me talking is probably most of my morning, every Saturday morning. We're talking 3-4 hours plus, from time of starting researching to pulling up these tabs to actually finishing, being able to render it, and then we're talking about uploading. That's probably another hour of my time as well. Every Saturday morning I devote to you guys, and I do get a little bit of money from YouTube. Being transparent, it's not a lot. If you really want to know how much it is, it's enough to buy a few booster packs. Packs, not boxes, okay? So it's really not a lot of money, and yeah, just wanted to say that because I have got some comments recently, some nasty comments. I mean, you're going to get it. You're going to attract haters. As the channel gets bigger, I'm going to get trolls on the channel. And yeah, just wanted to make very clear to people that this is a passion project more than anything. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars, again, we're not going to do a full price analysis purely for the fact that it hasn't really moved in price this last week. We saw that big upward in pressure where most of the Sword and Shield sets start to pump, and we're just seeing consolidation. It's now just chilling at around about 415, 400, 428, 430. Around about that point, really positive, especially when we were talking back here about a month ago. Look at this, March, April sort of time, where we were struggling to get through that $300 point. We were bouncing off the $300 point. We said this a few weeks ago. We were saying we're just going to keep bouncing off of 300 until we break through. We have multiple sales way over 300, and then it's going to be an easy run up to 400. And that's exactly what we saw on the chart. It's almost scary how well I predicted that. And now we're seeing support levels come in at 420, 430, that kind of level. So it's going to be rare going forward that we're going to see boxes below 400 on Brilliant Stars, possibly even never. This may be the new basement price now of 430. That could easily happen. Silver Tempest, we saw a similar thing. It's consolidated down in price a little bit, but we had this again where we were struggling to get up. We were rappelling off of that $300 line, and then when we saw the big run up on Sword and Shield, boom, it just breaks through, no issues, and now it's climbing. And then it went right up to a peak of, let's see, 350, 360 at its peak on the average. Now it's selling for 350, 340. Lots of sales there for 340 range. There's one for 363, basically at an all-time high. 363 is an all-time high on that chart. It's just that there are a few sales above and a few sales below, so it's averaging it down. It's consolidating it down a little bit. These will become the new basement prices. I don't think Silver Tempest or Brilliant Stars or any of those Sword and Shield sets are really going to dip down much, if at all, from the prices that they are at the moment. I think now is the time to buy into those sets if you want to be into those sets. But me personally, I'm hedging my bets now on a lot of the Scarlet and Violet sets. Prismatic, Surging, Destined Rivals, all that good stuff. Although Crown Zenith is still really cheap to buy into, and I would still recommend that. Oh, also Paldea and Twilight as well. How can I forget about them? There's just so much. Right, let's round off the episode. I want to use this part of the episode to talk about something a little bit different. I love this section of the video because we can just talk about something that's not all about profit, or we can look at weird plays, or I can give you a little bit of background story. I've talked about Shining Legends a little bit in the past, and I might have told this story before, but at that time the channel was very, very small, and a lot of you people wouldn't have heard this story. So Shining Legends is a very special set to me, and the reason why I'm talking about it is because it was brought up by a Pokemon YouTuber quite recently in one of their videos, in one of their live streams. They were talking about it, and Shining Legends is so special to me for a number of reasons, and I'll give you a bit of background story of me and why Shining Legends is so special to me. So Shining Legends is actually the first Elite Trainer box that I ever opened, which may sound kind of crazy to you people. It may not. I was still dipping my toe in at that point into sealed investing many years ago. That was at the beginning of the Sun and Moon era, and I had some sealed booster boxes of Sun and Moon base set put away, and I bought a Shining Legends Elite Trainer box as a test. I opened it because I wanted to test, and this is a rite of passage for anyone who's involved in Pokemon. We've all tried to do this before, and if you haven't, then I'm sure you will at some point in the future. I bought Shining Legends Elite Trainer box specifically as a test to see if I can profit opening Pokemon packs, because I wanted to open Pokemon packs and I wanted to see if you could turn a profit. I opened my Shining Legends Elite Trainer box, and it was so special to me. It really was. I did it all off camera, all off stream, alone, in my flat, on my floor, and I had my top loaders and my sleeves, and I was so ready. And I pulled a Shining Mew. I pulled the Mewtwo Secret Rare Chase, also known as the Mewtube, and I was very lucky. And I sold all of my cards, all of my hits that I got instantly on eBay to try and see if I could make a profit. And I did. And I profited around about £4 in total from the cost that I paid for the Shining Legends box. So I sold, the most of the money came from the Mewtwo Secret Rare, which I think I sold for £40 a few days after its release, maybe even on release day. I sold it for £40. I think I paid about £45 for the Elite Trainer box in total. So I gave away the hardest to pull hit in perfect pack fresh condition, in a sleeve, in a top loader, for less than what I bought the Elite Trainer box for. And it's one of the biggest regrets that I've ever had. And it's not just that I want that card back, because the card itself I don't mind about. It's this symbolic nostalgia that the card reminds me of. And now that I'm a full-blown sealed collector and investor, I don't even want the card anymore. I want the sealed Elite Trainer box. And they're hard to get nowadays, and I do really need to buy one before they get even harder to get. There is a local card store to me, and around about a year ago I went in there and they had one in the case. They were still fairly new to opening that card store then, and they had one mint condition in the case there, sealed. And it was around about £300. And at that time, I had never spent that kind of money on any sealed product that wasn't an insane booster box, like an Evolving Skies. So although I agree that it was worth the £300, because you just don't see them around and it's a rare, at that time I couldn't justify spending that money on that box. And that's where my regret is. My regret isn't selling the Mewtwo card that long ago. My regret is not buying that sealed box from that card store around about a year ago when I saw it, because it was perfect. And my perspective on things have completely changed in that last year. Now I would quite happily allocate that kind of money to my collection for something that means that much to me, and it would look so good on display behind me. It's so sentimental as well that it's a box that I would keep forever. It's not something that I would sell. So who knows? Maybe this is fate that I'm talking about it now. Maybe one of my subscribers will reach out and DM me on Instagram that they've got one for sealed and they'll do me a good price on it. We'll see. Maybe I'll be willing to pull the trigger on it. But I just wanted to share that with you, something a little bit personal for you in the hobby. And if you're interested, this is what the card that I sold for is now going in a PSA 10. Absolutely disgusting. $3,000 on the dot. Like I said, for a long time I watched this card grow in price, and I thought, this is why they call it the Mewtube, by the way, because he's in a test tube. For a long time I thought that this was what I wanted, that would make me happy, but In realization, it's not. It's this. It's the seal product. I've always loved seal product more than singles and slabs, and that's helped lead me to where I am today. I will buy a Shining Legends Elite Trainer box. This story is not over yet. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Please smash the thumbs up, like button. If you enjoyed it, it does really help push my content out there, and you really do help me by doing that. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and peace.